If you're waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and if you're exhausted but wired, if your body feels different and no one really explains why, this episode is for you. Menopause is not just about hormones, it's about sleep, stress, the nervous system shifts, and the way modern life collides with the body that's changing. Today, we're talking about sleep and hygiene in menopause, but not in the typical advice that you usually hear. We're exploring how Eastern principles apply practicality in Western life and how it can restore deeper rest and calmness. So I'm really excited now because we have a very special guest on our show today, and she is going to teach you what you need to know. Dr. Sonal, is that how you say your name?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. I was going to ask you before the beginning of the show, but I just wanted to make sure. I just want to make sure. All righty. So, most women are told it's just hormones. You hear that all the time, but it's really happening in the body during menopause that disrupts sleep. Am I correct?
Absolutely. This is about normalizing this experience because everyone thinks something is wrong with you because you're waking up at 3 a.m. So, the first thing I want everyone to know is that is just normal. It's extremely common in midlife and it's due to hormones. What's happening is estrogen is starting to dip as we go through perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. It happens in different phases. No one body is the same. I really want to say that again. No one body is the same. So, having the same outcome is not going to be the right result for every human woman or man, right? Because men also wake up at 3 in the morning because there's something else happening. It's not only the estrogen that's dipping, it's
Yeah.
cortisol that is rising. And when cortisol rises, it rises as blood sugar.
Yes.
And that is the key. There's a lot of reasons we can talk about on what's happening, but you're right, it's hormones, but it's not the hormones we think about of menopause. It's other hormones that are part of the human body that are also rising.
Is it nervous system imbalance also, or inflammation, or is it stress load too that could be a factor?
All of the above. All of the above. So let me tell you. This tired but wired pattern that we all go through. So you're exhausted all day. You've just ground through the day and then you get to the night and you're like, I am wide awake.
Yeah.
It's cortisol. It's back to the cortisol.
Yeah.
We are human beings, and as humans, cortisol was here to protect us. It is a safety signal. Our body is being told, beware, there's a tiger out there that's going to harm you, and your stress levels go up so that you can actually respond. Stress
Right.
levels go up so the human body can respond and assess fear and take care of it.
Right.
We live in a society that allows us and expects us to be at a constant high level of cortisol. In essence, we don't know what it feels to not be in a fight or flight situation.
Right.
And we have normalized this. So if I ask somebody on the street, are you stressed? No, I'm not. And I take their blood work, their stress cortisol levels will be high
Yeah.
because that's just normal. You wake up, you put on your phone, you turn on your phone and look at messages and the news, and your boss messaged you and they messaged you at 12:07 a.m., but you didn't respond. And now it's 3 a.m. and you've looked at it, you've created a high cortisol level. There is no chance that you can calm yourself to go back to sleep. Notice
Right.
in this whole example, I didn't even talk about estrogen because it's
Yeah.
not estrogen to blame only. Estrogen is dipping, no doubt. I will acknowledge that. But there's something even more powerful that's happening that affects men and women alike and children, unfortunately.
It's so true. And a lot of times people don't even realize how high their cortisol level is. I know I remember even, my doctor made me go get a blood test and my cortisol level was through the roof in the morning. And I'm like, how is that possible? But like you said, it could be getting on the phone and right away jumping on the computer to look at the emails and not giving yourself time to maybe just like relax and to
Yeah.
do. and to give yourself time to adjust that you just woke up, and so, when I think about it, like, why doesn't the typical Western sleep advice always work for menopausal women?
Well, I think the typical sleep advice is drink some chamomile and cool down your room and go to sleep, right?
Right.
It doesn't talk about when you should go to sleep, what things you should do before you go to bed. And I agree, chamomile is going to make you sleepy. I made that mistake one day. I was drinking chamomile in the middle of the day, and I'm like, why am I sleeping? Actually, it was a blend of a tea, and it had chamomile in it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect for the night.
Yeah.
So, but not for the day, right? But yes, chamomile works if you need it, and so does the cool room, because the body likes to be in a protected, comfortable um, warmth of having a blanket on you so that you can go to sleep, because you're looking for protection. The
Yes.
nervous system, the nervous system needs to shut down, not completely, but slow down. And
Yeah.
these are the things that are going to trigger to the nervous system that you are safe.
Right.
Um, One of the things that I think is very important is rhythm. The
Hmm.
body loves rhythm. We are creatures of habit, and
Right.
habit is rhythm. And
Yes.
so the body loves rhythm. So if you're going to go to bed one day at 8 because you were so tired, and the next day you're up till 12, and the next day it's 11, and the next day it's 2 a.m., that's
Yes.
very disruptive to the
Hmm.
human body, as it's already dealing with so much with menopause and hormones and the age. So, according to Ayurveda, we all have different constitutions, right? In the 40s and 50s, we're entering what's called Vata phase. Vata phase just means all women are entering this phase. It's not unique. You don't get to skip it. It is a
Yes.
phase that is more around movement. It governs movement, and it's cold.
Yes.
So you as a human need warmth, and you need safety, and you need the coziness, but you
Yes.
also need the rituals to get through. Um, so yeah, those are nice to have, but there are certain additional things that are really important. And I talked about cortisol earlier, and I said that cortisol rises as blood sugar, right?
Right. Hmm.
Now, think about what we do before we go to sleep, because we tend to eat a meal, and we
Yeah.
tend to have a heavy meal. Typically in Western society, your dinner is the bigger meal.
Yeah.
And then we sit, and either we're watching Netflix or TV or Super Bowl, and we're eating, and then we're also working on our computers, and we
Yes.
also have our phones. So what we're triggering to our body is, hold off, we're in stress mode, cortisol keeps rising.
Yeah.
We're thinking that we're relaxed, but we're not. And your
Yes.
melatonin, which is the hormone that needs to rise for us to feel sleepy and actually fall asleep, is
Yeah.
struggling to come out because
Right.
the cortisol is high. And they need to work in opposite ways. Melatonin will rise and trigger your body to sleep, but that means cortisol is going down. So we
Yes.
need to train ourselves to protect our nervous system and bring it back down to safety. And that
Yes.
could be as simple as taking 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths in the evening or in the morning or in the middle of the day when you're stressed instantly will reduce your cortisol levels. And studies have shown that. You can take the blood work of someone who's done breath work before and after, and you'll see what happens to their stress levels. They go down. So breath work is so important. And
Yeah.
so is a cue of, I'm going to sleep. So I'm starting to wind down. Turning
Yeah.
your phone off, putting it next to your bed, and closing your eyes is not going to help you to detox from the day. It's so
Mhm.
important to detox. And there's different ways to detox. You can journal. You can write your to-do list. How
Mhm.
many I have to get this, and this done tomorrow. But if you
Yeah.
write it all out, you've put it out away from your subconscious and your
Right.
conscious levels, right? It's
Exactly.
there to be done when it's done. Dimming the lights around you is a great way to tell your nervous system it's time to wake up. I mean, time to sleep. And for melatonin to wake up, for melatonin to start to say, oh, the lights are coming down.
Right.
We are creatures of a circadian rhythm. And the moon, when the moon is out and when it's dark outside, our body produces melatonin. But
Right.
we are also producing cortisol because we have all our gadgets and devices and EMFs coming out of our internet in our room.
Right.
So I'm going to be very provocative because I do this. Your phone shouldn't enter your bedroom.
Right.
It just shouldn't. It should be sitting out there so that once you enter your bedroom, there may be a book, there may
Yes.
be a journal, there may be candles, there may be a dim light, there may just be
Yeah.
you and your breath. And that is all that you need to be able to go to sleep. Once
Exactly.
that cortisol level comes down, your body feels safe. And I
Yeah.
keep saying the word safe because safe means you're not at risk. You can rest. It doesn't matter if your boss sent you a message. You should
Right.
be on do not disturb after a time that you believe is right and put
Exactly.
it out away from you. The other
That is
thing I talked about is food. So, food is what you eat at night is going to impact what happens in the day, in the nighttime.
right.
At night, typically between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., we are in cellular repair,
Mm-hmm.
which means that all the toxicities you took in through the day, everything you were breathing, everything you consumed from food, everything you consumed from media, all of that needs to go away somewhere. And the body is a beautiful system because between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., when your melatonin is up and you're sleeping, your body is repairing itself.
Right.
So, what happens if you go to bed at 2? Then it skipped it. It doesn't
Yeah.
wait. It doesn't say, oh, she's busy working, so I'm going to wait and at 2 o'clock we'll start the repair. The repair
Exactly.
gets skipped. And
Yes.
day after day after day, we are skipping cellular repair
Yes.
and leaving it for later when it's something we need to detox every single day. So it's very important to give ourselves those hours of cellular repair. The other thing is what you eat. In order
Mhm.
for cellular repair to actually start, your
Yeah.
digestion has to be complete. So if
Yes.
you eat something heavy at 9 p.m., it needs a few hours to digest. You're not
Right.
going to be able to enter cellular repair. And the sugar is going to be up. And the sugar is cortisol. It's actually telling your body, the body's interpreting it as a stress signal.
Yes.
So having a good protein and warm cooked food at night is so important because it allows digestion to happen
Yes.
earlier and have a good meal. I'm not saying have a light meal because you also don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. Often people who wake up at 2 a.m. are hungry, but they
Right.
don't recognize that it's hunger. Why are they hungry? Because there was a sugar spike because they may have eaten either too light or there
Right.
was alcohol and dessert involved in the meal. And both
Yeah.
of those are sugar, and sugar starts to get digested. And when you process, many people who have alcohol spike at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's not estrogen, it's the sugar from the alcohol and the desserts that are
Right.
leading to that. So if you have to have dessert, have it at lunch. You have the whole day to process it. I do not advocate don't do something because
Right.
we don't want to ever hear that we cannot have our a dessert or anything that you enjoy. But what
Right.
you do in your dinner time is going to impact what happens at 2 a.m. in the morning.
100%. 100%. Now, from an Eastern perspective, how is sleep viewed differently?
So, from the Eastern perspective and Ayurveda, the Vata time between 2 and 6 a.m., it's a time of you're going inwards. There's
Yeah.
clarity, there is intuition, there is movement. So if you're waking up between, like, let's say 5 and 6, your body is craving movement.
Hmm.
Your body is not craving food at that point. It's
Right.
wanting to just get going, be creative, sometimes go into meditation. A lot of people meditate and get really good insights at that time. And that
Yeah.
is that Vata phase that I talked about according to Ayurveda. But
Hmm.
if you're cold, if you've eaten cold food, if your body's not warm, not the environment. The environment should be cool, but your
Right.
body should be warm. According to Ayurveda, that warmth triggers a nervous system to reset to safety. So
Mm.
sometimes a warm bath, or you put oil and rub it into your feet. That's a perfect way to trigger to your nervous system. I am safe, I am here, and I'm calm. And
Right.
that allows for the nervous system to react in a way of, we're not protecting you anymore. We're here and we're all safe together.
Right. Oh,
So,
so
so cooling is, and like I talk about, you should be cool. Your body shouldn't be cool. It's very important. Eating raw vegetables at night is cooling to the body. It's not warming, which is why a warm soup with vegetables is a much healthier warming element that you can introduce into your body before bedtime.
right. That makes sense. Now, how does menopause relate to energy balance?
Excellent question. So, when we think about menopause, our estrogen is dipping and we're
Hmm.
still maintaining very high levels of cortisol. It's taxing the body. And when we as women enter the Vata phase, that constant doing, the body no longer can adjust to it. It doesn't have the estrogen to keep you going. So in
Right.
our 30s and our 40s, those are Pitta phase, according to Ayurveda, which is governed by fire and water. So there you have the fire, you have the ignition, you can go, go, go. In that
Yes.
Vata phase, you're not meant to be go, go, go. You have to find areas to slow down. And I don't mean slow down on your productivity, but being
Yes.
able to reset your body and your nervous system, also because the estrogen is no longer there to support you through. And that's
Right.
why it's so important to slow down on stimulants, like
Mhm.
artificial stimulants. When you're dipping at 3 p.m. and your hormones are dipping, it's a time to slow down in a sense of sit down, take breaths, maybe close your eyes without devices. If you're
Yes.
someone who meditates, then do the meditation. Um, these are really great elements to allow women to reset their energy. It's
Right.
like it's like a bank. I call it the energy bank. It's like money, right?
Yeah.
You have money in your bank, you use it all up. What's going to happen? You're in the red. It's the
Hmm.
same with energy. So how do you replenish your energy frequently during the day, not once a day? It's
Right.
sometimes some humans need it 3 times, some women need it only once. It depends on every constitution. But that replenishing of energy, and we're caregivers too, right? So
Yeah.
we're giving energy to the people we care about. We're caring for. We give energy to the work we're doing. We come home, take care of our family, and make food. We're giving energy. At what point do we take the energy back and take care of ourselves? The menopause phase is telling you not to stop, but to recalibrate how much you're giving out and make sure that you're giving back what you need. If that
Yeah.
means sitting for 45 minutes in the evening and reading a book or watching a Netflix show, either
Yeah.
or could be your energy bring back. And that's what we need to learn to do and actually accept, because we feel I'm not being productive. I need to go work on my slides for the next day. That's energy depletion, because now you're doing something again for someone else and
Right.
your estrogen's no longer there to support you. So
Exactly.
you have to support yourself and
Right.
maintain. And I have actually created an inner restoration program. It's a digital 14-day course. And it's small tidbits of advice every single day. It unlocks one day and it unlocks 24 hours later, because I know we're all high achieving women and men and we want to do it all in one sitting. But the
Yeah.
goal is you get a 5-minute video from me or a teaching of a topic on either mind or body restoration. And then you
Right.
try it that day. And so by the end of 14 days, the goal is to finally have taken on a few of these learnings and make them part of your own lifestyle so that you know when you need to reset yourself, when you need to recalibrate, when you get energy in your system.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What role does the nervous system regulation play?
The nervous system does two things. Number one, it is helping you in with all your sympathetic, parasympathetic, right? Your breathing, the typical things that allow the body to work. The sympathetic nervous system is protecting you against fear and stress. Fear and stress exist in us all the time. So, therefore, as humans, we're no longer balancing the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. We're constantly in sympathetic activation, cortisol's high, run, run, run. I have activities to do. I got to go from A to B to C. And
Right.
I'm getting pinged on my phone by all the media, late breaking news,
Yeah.
and my kids need something, and my spouse needs something, and my boss needs something. All that
Right.
happens constantly. So the sympathetic nervous system is always on active. I had a friend actually who went into adrenal crisis. She had to be hospitalized
Oh, wow.
because she didn't realize that the stress level that was already so high and in top red zone was not her normal. She thought
Yeah.
that she was fine. Yes, I've had stress because of the recent last project I'm working on. No, her body was always at stress, and the recent project put her over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all in highly activated sympathetic lifestyles right now. And breathing, meditation, slowing down all help to bring safety back by reducing the sympathetic nervous system and allowing the parasympathetic system to balance out. So, for
Right.
example, let's take a deep breath and breathe out. Did you feel that?
Oh, felt so relaxing. It took me down a couple notches, actually.
Yeah. And that is us consciously saying pause, even on our conversation, and let's take a deep breath. If we did that frequently during the day, we would not only remind ourselves, but everyone around us. Because if you
Yeah.
tell someone, hold on, let's pause, let's take a breath, or let's start this meeting with a mindful breath, everyone's system goes down and everyone steps away from the attack mode. Because you
Right.
walk into a meeting or a conversation and there's already a perspective, there's
Yeah.
already dichotomy, there's already, I'm coming in with this attack because I don't think that. But the moment you bring in breath and bring everyone's sympathetic system down a couple notches, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
have a better dialogue and you're
Yeah.
actually going to feel better when you leave that. So
Yeah.
that is how important our nervous system is. And because we don't have estrogen to protect us, we got to use all these other tools. They become so important to reset our bodies at this time of our phase of our lives.
So true. Now, how does the rhythm matter more than the intensity?
I love that you brought up this question because we are creatures of intensity, right? Go, go, go. And okay, I'm going to do this every single day and I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. I've actually been working with a client on breath work. And
Mm-hmm.
what I said to her is, what's our goal? Okay, we want to do 10 continuous deep breaths,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't care if you do only one. The most important thing I care is that you do the breath work every day around the same time. It's not
Right.
about perfection. It is about rhythm. So if you tell your body at 8 p.m., I'm going to dim the lights and I'm going to take 2 deep breaths,
Yes.
believe me that that is enough because
Mhm.
your body at 8 p.m. is going to be expecting dim lights and 2 breaths. That's
Right.
all it takes. And it takes 30 seconds or less to do that. But because it's a rhythm, your
Yeah.
body feels safe because it knows it's a rhythm. This is why skipping meals is not at all advised for women going through Vata phase and going through menopause because
Right.
you're creating stress to your sympathetic system and your body. Your nervous system's like, whoa, you skip breakfast. Yeah, I skip breakfast. I have so many meetings. I got my kids out. I gotta go do. I'll get to you at lunch. I'll give you a
Right.
nice cold salad. No,
Yeah.
the body doesn't want that. It doesn't want the cold salad. It doesn't want a skip meal. It
Right.
wants you to eat something every morning for breakfast, every
Right.
afternoon for lunch, a wholesome meal for lunch, and then a nice dinner. And it
Yeah.
wants you to shut down every day around the same time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. But it's got to be every day around the same time. That is what creates rhythm. And when you
Yeah.
create that rhythm, there's no spikes. And all
Hmm.
you want is that your cortisol doesn't spike. And the
Yes.
only reason your cortisol will spike is if your body feels fear. But
Hmm.
what you eat leads to cortisol, that leads to fear, that leads to sympathetic nervous system, that leads to high blood sugar. But
Hmm.
we're keeping them all high all the time.
Right.
So we need to find rhythm in our everyday. When you
Yeah.
wake up, instead of picking up the phone, if you took 2 breaths, you signal to the body, I am safe.
Yes.
You're returning back to safety. It's so important every day to wake up and take 2 deep breaths. It's not asking a lot, right?
Yeah. I love that. Now, what's one morning habit that improves the nighttime sleep? Like you mentioned that we should meditate, breathing exercises. What is the strongest piece of advice you can give to someone to start in the morning, to start their day right?
I think the most important thing when you wake up, other than don't look for devices, is to sit up on your bed, take 2 deep breaths, right? Like you're breathing from the belly. And on YouTube, there's a lot of breathing techniques. My inner restoration program also one day is all about breathing and how to do it. But when you
Yeah.
take the 2 deep breaths, give gratitude.
Oh, I like
Give
that.
gratitude for the ability to take a deep breath. You know, they say you only live once.
Yeah.
No, you only die once, but you live every single day.
Oh, I
So in the
like.
morning, give gratitude for the opportunity to take that deep breath, and your nervous system will feel so protected.
Hmm. It's so true. Now, many women in midlife are running households, leading businesses, caring for aging parents, raising teenagers. How does chronic stress amplify menopausal sleep disruption?
So all what you've explained outlined is, I would say 80 to 100% of a woman's life at this stage is
Yeah.
all those activities that you described. We cannot say get rid of those things.
Yeah.
It's not possible, right? That is life for us.
Mhm.
But what is very important in menopause is the remembrance that our hormones are dipping. And
Yeah.
when we maintain that chronic level of stress, where
Right.
our cortisol continues to spike and spike and spike and spike. So there are a few ways to protect yourself. Number one, it is okay to outsource certain things that you may not necessarily do.
Right.
So important. I guess I did that hard thing right now with my hard hands. But honestly, like I think women try to take on so much and they forget that they're going through a phase that is requiring them to take time into their bodies. And
Yes.
that is very important because while your estrogen's dipping, you don't want your cortisol to dip to rise. You want it to stabilize. And certain things like self-care.
Yes.
Self-care can look like a yoga class because
Mhm.
you get breath work, you get movement, and you get out of your mind
Yes.
into your body. It is so important because our mind is full of, I gotta do, and I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And the
Yep.
mind is so hyperactive that when you wake up at 3 in the morning, you're not waking up only to, I'm awake, but suddenly you're upset that you're awake. That
Mhm.
further rises your cortisol level. And then
Yep.
you remember everything that you have to accomplish, and that further rises your cortisol level.
Yep.
So even at 3 a.m., when that happens, train yourself to go back to sleep.
Exactly.
A really nice method to do it is count backwards from 100 and multiples of 7.
Mm.
You will fall asleep before you get to 0. Because you're like 193, like what's next? And you're not going to want to, and you're just going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Another thing is to take deep breaths because your stress level just went up. Your cortisol just spiked, thinking, oh, fear, we got to get going, but it's only 3 in the morning. Take
Yeah.
those deep belly breaths,
Yeah.
count, just breathe it out and into your belly. And
Yeah.
and when you're breathing, this is a really important element that I want our audience to know. When you're focused on breathing, you
Hmm.
cannot be thinking.
Right.
Because if you are thinking, then you're no longer focused on breathing. Because we can't
Right.
focus on both. You can't think and breathe, do breath work, right? Which is why, how many times have you like looked at an email and you're like responding? Did you catch yourself that you stop breathing in that moment? We
Right.
actually stop breathing. We take shallow breaths during the time that we're working as opposed to deep breaths. So if you're taking deep breaths before bed or at 3 a.m. or in the morning and a thought creeps up, think of it like a cloud and let it just float away. Let
Yeah.
it be. Let the thought go and return back to your breath. And that is going to trigger your nervous system to know that you're safe and it's all okay and it's time for bed. Don't judge yourself. Don't be
Right.
mad at yourself. Don't panic that, oh no, I'm awake and I'm going to be up again for so
Mhm.
many hours.
Right.
And also recognize that if you had a glass of wine the night before, the sugar is being processed and it takes that many hours to process an alcohol, and the spike happens at 2 to 3 in the morning. So it's
Wow.
not you, it's what came into your body. So that's also a way to be a little less harsh on ourselves and not
Right.
say, oh my God, menopause. It's not just menopause, it's the food, the alcohol, the sweets, the media, the stress, all of that that we are intaking.
Hmm.
And of course, the estrogen levels dipping during menopause.
Right. Oh, I love that. Now, what does recovery really look like for people?
If their recovery, when you is what you just said, I feel like I went down a couple notches. Down
Okay.
from where? Where did you
Yeah.
go down from? We know, we acknowledge we're high up there.
Yeah.
Breath work brings you back down.
Hmm.
Putting on a calm app or listening to water, nature sounds
Yeah.
brings you back down. Going for a walk in nature and noticing the beauty of nature, whether it's the forest or the water or the birds or the trees, brings
Yeah.
us back to a centered stage. And the
Yeah.
centered stage is one where you may have a lot of things to do, but you're like, I'll get them done. They'll get
Yeah.
done when they get done. And if this doesn't get done today, it'll get done tomorrow, you know?
Right.
You
Hmm.
reprioritize your life and you realize that you don't have to get 20 things done every day, but you
Exactly.
need to get those 5 things done because they're important to your ecosystem and the
Right.
people who depend on you. But maybe I want to just have a long bath tonight, or
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to go to meditation class or a yoga class, or I'm going to go dancing, I'm going to Zumba or a Tai Chi. All of these are ways to bring your regulatory immune system, your nervous system to to a balance. That is
Yeah.
what you get. And even trees, go hug a tree if you're very stressed out.
I
It's
like
because
that.
trees will take all that negative energy and you just have to do it for a few minutes and be like, oh wow. But the trees are all interconnected under earth and they all talk to each other and they absorb all of it. And all you're left with is a sense of peace and calm. And that is where we want to get to.
That's so true. Now, if you can change one belief women have about menopause and sleep, what would it be?
The one belief that there's nothing you can do about it.
Hmm.
The belief that my sleep is impacted because I'm in menopause and nothing works because everyone said that to me and therefore nothing works.
Yeah.
The truth is, yes, your hormones are being impacted, but many more than what leads to menopause.
Right.
Our our hormones, our menopausal hormones are absolutely being triggered and estrogen's dipping. But the other things you're in control of, the cortisol you're in control of, your
Hmm.
melatonin rising when it should, you're in control of. The sugar
Right.
spikes, you're in control of. So I
Yes.
want women to know that as they're going through these sleep challenges and menopause, they are in control of a lot of things that they
Hmm.
can make small tweaks to in
Yeah.
order to have a better ritual of sleep.
Oh, yes, I agree. Now, tell us a little about your services that you provide, and also tell us again about the more about the course that you provide also.
Yeah, so, you know, people can connect with me at sonalbhatia.com. I have a lot of free offerings in there, like vinaigrette tea and how to make cooling recipes or warming recipes, because a lot of the work that I do is help and coach women who are going through imbalances and bridging Ayurveda into a Western lifestyle. I don't want people to flip anything. I
Yes.
think that we are very busy and we need small, simple changes that are going to help us lead a better life without always having to go for a chronic mechanism to bring us back to reset. Those
Yeah.
exist. They're wonderful. They're there when we need them. But I'm here to help you bridge that gap and give you simple tools that you can use so that you can actually get to a balanced state. My inner restoration program, I created it because I feel that I can't give enough to just one on one women. I work
Yeah.
with women in 6 sessions or a 6 month program, and it's wonderful to see them go through it. But for someone who says, hey, let me try it on my own, yes, start with the inner restoration program. It's 14 days. And Stacey, I'm going to offer all of our audience a discount code SONAL 20, Sonal 20. Use it to get 20% off the course. And thank you for listening to Stacey and myself on this program. But this 14-day program is meant to help you to have the tools you need to reset yourself when you're feeling, to know what you're feeling, to acknowledge what you're feeling, and how do you reset your mind and your body. So 1 week goes through the mind and 1 week goes through the body. After 14 days, you will have your favorite tools to use. And if you're sitting in a meeting, you'll know how to take a deep breath when no one is even around you so that you can stay in the equilibrium that we should be in.
Ah, I love that. I love that. Now, I just want everyone, all the listeners, to realize that menopause is not a breakdown, it's a transition. It's, but transitions require support, not silence. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a biological repair. And when we understand that the body, instead of fighting it, rest becomes possible again. And we'll include Sonal's information in the show notes for all who want to explore this deeper. And our course will be in there. And you'll find all her information about her website. Can you tell everybody your website address before we go?
Yeah, it's sonalbhatia.com, sonalbhatia.com. And there's a free ebook in there for anyone who wants to go and grab it. It talks about Ayurveda.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanal, for coming on the show today, for sharing this information because so many people struggle with sleep. They struggle with imbalanced hormones. They don't realize that there is a root cause for everything. And, there are so many ways that we could do things naturally to repair our body. And just simple little things could make such a big difference in how we feel and how we operate. So I thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you'll be on the show again. I really look forward to having you here. And thank you once again for everything.
Thank you, Stacey. It's been an honor being with you.
Oh, same here.